Hi, this is Gabriel with ABU Games. I'm the owner of ABU Games, and I'm basically the vintage expert on for what I do with most of my time. And so today we're going to do a video over some of the new cards that we've received recently that we've taken pictures of. We call them actual picture cards here because pretty pretty much we want to be able to offer to our customers the best idea of what they're getting when they order from us. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we offer exactly, the customers can see exactly what they're going to get. And so we're going to go over kind of a video here of what we just got in, and maybe I'll give some stories about some of the cards, and we'll see how it goes. Is the number that if you were to purchase these on our website, that would be the number that's in the ID number. So if you see one in particular you like, check it out. So this first card on here, Alabar's Carpet, I'm not going to go over every single card, but this one's interesting because we've recently had a huge spike in these restricted cards, or reserve list cards. And this card like this, Alabar's Carpet, usually it wouldn't be something that I would take a picture of. I think it was like $8 or $9, and I'm not sure on the price 100%. There's so many of these things have spiked, but let's just say this card spiked to $40. I'm not sure what the price is exactly. Usually what we do is when a card like that spikes, it'll be like $10 and it'll spike to like 40. We'll like pretty much sell out of every single copy, but sometimes someone will order like 20 of them, and you know we won't sell all 20 of them to them. So we'll maybe restrict them down to 8 or 12. We try to be reasonable, but so we'll have a few left over after a spike like that, and then now it's worth more, so we'll take a picture of it. But usually we don't go all the way to what the current going rate, I guess, would be on something like this. So what we'll do is we're not going to put it at $40. We usually put it around like 30 or something like that, just to see if it is actually worth that new price or not. So sometimes it can still be a really good opportunity for those looking to get these reserve list cards, because we're not gonna we might have a few left after that initial buyout, and our price is still going to be probably better than what you're going to find on eBay or something like that. So there might be an opportunity for you. So it's kind of got a few of those left. There's no real order to these, except in case you take alphabetical to be in order, but they're not grouped by any kind of by edition. So I'll just go through these here and see if there's anything interesting that I can note. We do try to keep in the best selection of the vintage cards we possibly can. It's hard; they're hard to come by, and we know we pretty much have a pretty good grasp of the values of these things, so we stay on top of it. So we keep a pretty good selection. I'm sure we're one of the best selections out there. There's Beta Bayou. That one's kind of cool. I've always been a fan personally of played stuff like this. I like collecting the really high-end mint cards as well, but I like the played cards because I always feel like if I love to play with the old vintage cards. I love to play beta cards and decks, and if you get something like this, you don't have to really be that worried about it, playing with it, reducing the value of it. So I've always liked to get like I'm getting play sets of something in beta for it to be in played condition, so that when I use it, I can just enjoy the card, don't have to worry about it degrading the value by using it in a deck. So go through these. Oh yeah, Unlimited Birds of Paradise. I wanted to note about this. So we had 3 near mint to mint in stock, and so those are they're going for a ton of money now. They're really hard to come by. But we had 3 near mint ones in stock. So when I pulled them to take the pictures of them, I noticed that this one, although it's really nice, it has a bunch of these print errors on it. The printing defects, I guess. And normally, or sometimes, I guess, if it's just a small defect here or there, I'm not too worried about it. But this was just too much, so I went ahead and downgraded that one to a played condition. It's kind of a judgment call on stuff like this. Like, who's to say this isn't near mint to mint? But I didn't think that a customer that when they got that would be happy with that as near mint. So, anywho. It's crazy, these alpha uncommons. Like, generally I have a threshold. I don't like to take pictures of these vintage cards unless they're worth at least $15 is kind of like where I make the cut. And cards like this were always like $5 or $6 or something. But recently, so many of these alpha uncommons are now $15+. So, take pictures of them. Now you will, I mean, these particular cards, especially if, you know, when you're watching this video, if you're watching it months from when it was taken, are probably all sold, or a ton of them are sold. But we get more copies of them in all the time, so. But if you're watching it right now, these ones probably are available. Oop. So I'm trying to go through these at a reasonable speed so this video is not an hour and a half long. But if you want to see, you know, take your time and take a real critical look at any of these cards, they should all be available with really super high resolution images on our website so you can really make a good decision. We try to keep, on cards like Ensnaring Bridge here, we try to keep, you know, 4 to 8 copies of images. I mean, we might have 60 of this card in stock, but we'll take pictures of like 4 to 8 of them. So for those people that are super concerned about condition, that they can take a look and know exactly what they're getting. Missed a card. This is actually a really nice force field. I was considering sending this card to get in graded, actually. It's such a rough card because alpha force field is almost always off-centered significantly. And that just kills the grade. To get a 9.5 alpha force field is just near impossible, just because you're going to get killed on that centering. But this one was just so crisp. Everywhere the edges are really super nice. There is a couple minor printing errors, which basically, you know, along with the centering, which just made it, I just knew that it probably wasn't going to get a 9.5. There's probably no way. And, you know, maybe it would get a 9. It certainly is the quality of a 9. But even that, it might not. So I've never been a centering Nazi. What's important to me when I look at a card is the condition. Personally, I like sharp edges and nice corners, and I've never really been too concerned about centering, but I'm probably in the minority. A lot of people are like, that's the number one thing concerned, but for me, this is a beautiful card. I love it. Oh, Alpha Fungosaur. That card, I have so many of these in stock, and they're ridiculous. They're worth like $150. Well, let's say the going rate's $150, and you know, eventually they're gonna be worth $300, I'm sure. But I don't know. It's just such a silly card. I don't think I could ever get sick of looking at Magic cards like this. They have just so much nostalgia to them. They're just so cool. I just love it. Ah, Beta Ices. These are sweet. I wish I had about 1,000 of these. I actually had some Icy Manipulators and a bunch of Douglas Schuler cards. Basically, I had signed and altered. We still have a few of them on our website. We had a ton of them, and I just always love the artwork on this card. I think it's one of the best. One of my, probably my top 10 favorite artworks of all time. Another one of those Legends cards that just spiked recently. I don't know if it's actually gonna keep its value up there or not. It's kind of like, it has a very unique effect, and that is good for value of something. If it does something nothing else really does, that definitely makes it, gives it a chance of really going through the roof. Oh, missed one. James Day Tome. Such a cool card. Obviously, there's obviously better options out there, but I guess for like 93 Magic, this is like the premier draw card spell. That's why it's kind of spiked recently. Another one of those Legends cards that just really spiked recently. This is another one that just went through the roof. I think it was always going for like $15-20 for Unlimited Mana Vault. I think these are like 85 or 100 now or something crazy. Ooh, that's a nice card, Beta Mana Vault. I'm so happy on cards like Meijai Jin that they're actually finally going up a little bit and really showing their. I think these cards are worth a ton more than what they go for. I think this card's only like 15 to 20 bucks. And I know it's a reprint, and so that holds it back significantly. It'll never be chase card, but there's not very many of these out there. I think that the potential on cards like Meijai Jin are huge. It's funny, Mishra's Factory. This is still a powerhouse playable card, vintage and legacy. I remember I had it when I was a kid, just kind of going around trading and playing. There was one guy that had a set of Mishra's Factories, one of each, and he always played this artifact deck. And he would just not trade those cards for anything. And every time I saw that guy, I would always try, and I would offer him just like so much for those cards, and he would never budge. It was so frustrating. That was hard to find, the Antiquities cards and stuff at the very beginning. I guess not. It's funny, you would think it would be harder to come across that stuff 25 years later, but with the internet and your access to this stuff is awesome. Even though they are super freaking rare, you can get them, which is really cool. You don't have to drive around all over the world. Boy, I've been on a few of those trips to different stores and conventions and things to try to find stuff. I guess it was fun though, but it's grueling. Oh. I guess there's not much difference between these. Bunch of Rashidun ports, that's all you need to know. These are actually, I believe, yeah, these Alpha Royal Assassins are listed as poor condition. They don't look so bad from the front, especially. Well, this one has, yeah, I mean, this one has some basically damage here. This one, it looked like it was run over potentially by like someone in their chair or something. So it has two little indentions here, which makes it poor in our condition standards. So, but other than that, it looks really nice. So that's if the little tiny dings like that don't bug you too much, those are pretty good opportunities, I'd say. Bunch of Sarah's Sanctums. Oh, that same guy had four, of course, four of the different strip mines too in there. Same thing. Can never get those from him. Coffin. Boy, has this card gotten popular recently. I don't even. These might, these are almost guaranteed sold already in the last couple days. We've just been selling these things like crazy. So we probably won't be there. Tabernacles, those are freaking hard to come by and they're worth so much now. Oh my goodness. A couple time walks. Not the best shape, but we give you an extra turn. I'm kind of surprised that Triskelion's still worth anything. Like, why would you ever play this card over Walking Ballista now? I have no idea. I mean, unless you're just talking pure nostalgia, they're like infinitely cooler, but they wrecked it. They ruined this card. I guess if you want to play more than 4 in a vintage deck. Yeah, I love the artwork on this card. I've always thought it was always one of those weird cards that you'd barely ever see, and no one ever play it. So it was just like always totally unique to see it. And the artwork is just so awesome. This is a really, really nice Beta Volcanic Island. That was cool. Alright, we're getting there. Alright, so all in all, I would say it's a pretty dang nice selection of cards we've got in. We usually do a batch like this every month or so. We'll just wait about a month and gather up cards, and then once we have a decent amount, we'll do a bunch of pictures all at once and load them all up. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good time. Bye.